Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and today we are doing a very summery video. I have a bunch of summer book recs, so I'm gonna go through these with you guys and just give you some recommendations. I have Ghost here too, so if I am looking down that way, that is why. Also, we are all just gonna ignore my hair today. I just washed it, so it's like half wet, half dry, and it was looking really bad. So I threw it up. Just ignore it. Also, ignore the unmade bed. I am clearly a mess today. The bed was made at one point, and then Blake decided to take a midday nap. So it's a little messy, but it's what we're gonna work with because the daylight is definitely going down very soon. So I have 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 book recommendations. One of them is a series, so yeah. But let's just get into it because we have a lot of books here. Okay, so the first book I have is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This book is so freaking good. I am obsessed. K.L. Walther has a new book coming out soon. I don't know when. I think she has 2 books coming out soon, actually, and I cannot wait for either of them. The one that I'm really looking forward to is called It Happened After Midnight, What Happens After Midnight, something like that, but the cover is so pretty. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. This one, so good. So this book is about a girl named Meredith, and her family go to Martha's Vineyard every summer, and recently her sister passed away. So she's been grieving that. So the past summer they didn't go to Martha's Vineyard. So this year she's like ready to rejoin the world again. So she goes with her family on the trip to Martha's Vineyard, and there's a wedding, and she was recently dumped, and they play like this family-wide game of assassin where everyone is playing, and it's on an island, and she meets a cute groomsman. And this book was just so cute. It is YA, so it's super like fluffy and just so easy to read. It's like cotton candy in a book. I really liked this one. The next book I have, of course, I could not do this video without mentioning it, is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is another one of my favorite books of all time, probably. This is about Gus and January, and Gus is like a literary fiction writer, and January writes romance, and these two knew each other in college, and then they're kind of like rivals. And now January is staying at her father's house in Michigan, who he passed away. The house is like on a lake, and she bumps into Gus, and they kind of like do a deal where he has to try and write a romance novel and she has to try and write a literary fiction novel, and they like take each other out on like dates that would help them write the novel. Like she takes him on like a date that would be in a romance novel, stuff like that. And this book is so good. Please pick this up. Like if you take anything from this video, definitely pick this one up. Okay, the next recommendation I have is Shipped by Angie Hockman. The back of this book says it's the hating game meets the unhoneymooners, and I definitely think that is true. So it's about Henley and Graham. His name is Graeme. Graham? I don't know. But it's about them, and they work for a cruise line, I'm pretty sure, and they're both up for a promotion, and they've never like met each other before. So their boss sends them on this cruise where they have to come up with the best proposal for their promotion, and like whoever wins gets the job. And it's kind of like a enemies to lovers to enemies because they're both up for this promotion. And this book was so cute. I love a good workplace romance, and it's on a cruise ship, and they're like doing little excursions together. I really like this book. It was another book that was just so easy to read, and it was so fun and light and cute, and it's like decently short. It's just over 300 pages. I definitely recommend this one. The next 2 books are part of a series. I guess I have 2 series in here. I didn't realize that. These 2 books were not my favorite, but I know that they are other people's favorite, so I wanted to include them, and that is It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I am not the biggest Tessa Bailey fan, but I know a lot of people are, so that's why I wanted to include these. But It Happened One Summer is about Piper, and she's super into fashion and spending money, her parents' money. She's like an influencer and a big partier, and she throws a big party and her dad does not like it. So he sends her to Westport, Washington, which I think is where he's from. Okay, it's where her original father's from. Her stepfather's the one who sends her there. And it's like a little fishing town, and she meets a fisherman, and then the rest, read it to find out. And then the second one is about Piper's sister, Hannah, and she also meets a fisherman. I don't know. They weren't my favorite, but give them a try and maybe they'll be yours. The next book I have is The Layover by Lacey Walden. The cover is so cute. I'm obsessed with all these colors. But this book is about Ava, and she is a flight attendant, and she's been working for a while. She's ready to do her very last flight, and her like workplace enemy is also on the exact same trip as her. And then there's some plane mechanical issues while they're in Belize. How convenient. So they like have to stay in Belize on the layover for the weekend, I'm pretty sure. And this was another workplace romance, and I think they're so cute when it's like workplace romance in the summer set somewhere else, not in the office. I don't know, something about these two books, I love them. So if you like this and you haven't read this, try it. If you like this and you haven't read this, try it. But this was another good one, and it's like 304 pages, so a super quick, easy read. The next book, this is another book where it wasn't my favorite, but some people liked it, and it is super summery. I read it 2 summers ago, and when I think of it, I think of like all the summer vibes, so I'm gonna recommend it. And that is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry again. If you can't tell, there's a common theme with Emily Henry, and it's that she writes super cute, summery books. I haven't read Happy Place yet, but the cover looks like it would be summery, so that might be another one. But this book is about Alex and Poppy, who are 2 friends who met in college, and they live kind of far apart from each other, but every single year they go on a week-long vacation in the summer until 2 years ago. And so the whole book you're kind of finding out like what happened to make them not be friends anymore, and the reason for why they're not friends anymore felt so stupid to me, which is why I don't love this book. Hi, buddies. Anyways, the reason why they stopped talking was like a little bit infuriating to me because it seemed so stupid, but overall I did get like very summery vibes from this book, and I liked it. It was like a 3 stars. The next series I'm gonna recommend, everyone and their freaking dog has read this, and that is The Summer I Turned Pretty. Hello, overexposure. If you don't know, The Summer I Turned Pretty is a trilogy. It's also a show on Netflix. So you can like read this by the pool during the day and then go home and watch the show all cozied up at night. Sounds perfect. I haven't watched the show. I watched like the first 3 episodes and then I stopped. So I need to finish before season 2 comes out. So that will be on my agenda. But this book is about Belly, which that name drove me absolutely crazy, but it's fine. It's about Belly, where every summer she goes to Cousins Beach, where her mom's friend Susanna has 2 boys, and they hang out and enjoy the summer. And she's always had a thing for the older brother Conrad, but maybe things are changing. Maybe she likes the younger brother. It's a little bit love triangle-y. It's a little triangular. But if you don't mind that, or if you're into it, check it out. It's 3 books. They're all like 300 pages, super short, easy reads. I think I like read all 3 books in 3 days, so it's a good one. Speaking of love triangles, if you really like geometry and triangular things, definitely pick up this one, and that is 99 Days by Katie Cotugno. I have talked about this book quite a lot on my channel, I feel like. I don't know why. It was a good book. So this book is about Molly, and what's weird to me is like this book kind of starts after everything has happened. Normally like stories start and then you find out what happens, whereas this book I feel like it happens like after. So basically it's about Molly, and she had a thing with a guy named Patrick. I think they were dating, and then she cheated on him, I'm pretty sure, with his brother Gabe. So it's very similar to The Summer I Turned Pretty, and like 2 brothers, that kind of thing. So I think this happened a year ago, and then she went to boarding school because everyone was bullying her, and her mom is an author and wrote a story about her love life and everything that happened, and the whole town hated her. So she went to a boarding school, and now she's home for summer, and there's 99 Days of Summer, hence the title. And it's kind of like how her summer's going post traumatic incident, if that makes sense. Every chapter is a different day, which I absolutely loved because some of the chapters are so short. Like here's day 41, for example. It's just like so short. I loved it. It was so easy to get through and it was really good. I like devoured this book. So I would definitely go read this one. I really liked it. There's a sequel. Absolutely skip it. The sequel was so boring and so pointless and you could have stopped here. I was so disappointed. So read this and then stop. Next is kind of an older book that was like popular like 2 years ago, and that is Where the Crawdads Sing. This book I also read in summer, and I just remember like sitting in my hot apartment reading this, so it gives me all the summer vibes. This book, if you don't know, it's about a girl named Kaya, and she's considered a marsh girl. That's what everyone in the town calls her. They live off the coast of North Carolina, and like one of the popular handsome guys is found dead and she is suspected of his murder. So it's kind of a murder mystery, more literary fiction or historical fiction, I think, but it was really good. It was definitely slow at parts, but I really liked this book. I know a lot of people don't really like this book, but for me it was amazing. And there's a movie which I haven't seen yet, but I'm so excited to because I love the book. So this is another book where I didn't love it, but I'm gonna recommend it because it was very summery, and like you're not gonna love every book you read, and that is Hello Summer by Mary Kay Andrews. This book is about a girl named Conley, and her family owns like a small town newspaper, and she's ready to leave her job. She has a big position coming up in Washington, D.C., and then everything goes up in flames. So she moves back home and she works for her sister in their like family newspaper, and she's in charge of the gossip column. A local congressman ends up dead, and he is like very beloved by the town, and he kind of has a little bit of a shady past. So Conley is like digging up his past, trying to figure out what happened. There's a little bit of romance, but for the most part, this book wasn't my favorite. It's written in third person, which personally I cannot stand that. I don't know why, I just find it so boring. But if you don't mind third person, this wouldn't be a bad book. It's long though. It's a little over 450 pages. I don't know, it just felt so long when I was reading it. Next, I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is my absolute favorite author. I've said this a million times. I even have a whole video about her books, so I had to include one of them. This is actually my least favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but a lot of people really liked it. This is about a very famous, popular family living in Malibu, and every year they throw like an end of the summer party. In the beginning of the book, you find out that the house has gone up in flames, and the whole book you're kind of seeing why you're going between past and present timeline, and you are meeting everyone in the family, since I think there's like 4 or 5 of them, and you're getting the perspective from so many different people who were at the party. And overall it was pretty good. I finished this in like one day or one sitting, so clearly I enjoyed it enough, but I think I gave it like a 3 stars, which still isn't even a bad rating. So check it out if you haven't already. I know this is also like an older book. The next book I have is actually a Colleen Hoover book, and that is Heartbones. I don't normally recommend Colleen Hoover books because, I don't know, she's not my favorite, and I feel like everyone knows about Colleen Hoover, but this was a pretty good summer read. It's about Bea. She's our main character, and I'm pretty sure her parents are divorced and her mom died, so she goes to live with her dad, who she like never talks to, and she is from poverty and her dad has so much wealth. I don't remember where it takes place. It's like an island off of Texas. I could be wrong, but it's like an island, so it's super summery, and they are on the beach, and she lives right next door, or her dad lives right next door to a guy named Samson, and he's kind of cute. They are going to be living on opposite sides of the country come the end of summer, so they kind of like keep it as a little summer fling, but obviously that never works out. So overall, I did like this book. I don't think it's one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books, but like, I don't know. It's Colleen Hoover, so it's easy to read, and this is also a shorter one. Oh, it's like 320 pages. This I also read in one day, so pretty easy to get through. Next is kind of a weird recommendation, and that is Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. So this book follows Lily Wilder, and her dad was a very famous treasure hunter, and now as her job she like follows her dad's hand-drawn maps with tourists and takes them on like treasure hunts as just like a little fun vacation excursion. They're looking for her father's lost treasure. It's like his one last treasure hunt. I don't know. It was a really weird premise for a book, but it was like a fun little like summer adventure if you're into that. It was a really weird book, but it was kind of fun. Okay, and then my last recommendation is another book like everyone has heard of, and that is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I've heard of this compared to The Summer I Turned Pretty and Love in Other Words, I'm pretty sure. And I think it's pretty true. This book is about Percy, and her family has a lake house where they go every summer, and she falls in love with her neighbor. They see each other every summer. They work together when she's there for the summer. I'm pretty sure she only goes in the summer. I don't think they live there. And something happens where they have like a falling out, and they haven't seen each other in I think like 10 years. And Percy goes back to the little lake house for Sam's mom's funeral. I almost said wedding, not wedding, for her funeral, and they like see each other again, and it sparks old feelings, and you kind of figure out like what happened to make them like fall apart. So it's past and present timeline, and I thought it was cute. It was like an easy read, but it is like two other books mashed together, which felt weird. It was still pretty good though. Those are all the recommendations I have for you guys today. I hope you got something from this video. If you've read any of these and you love them, let me know and we can talk about them in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around with me. I appreciate you guys so much. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps me out literally so much, and I really appreciate it. But I'll see you guys so soon in the next one.